Hey, good morning. This is Jared and Nate coming to you from the E-Carrier Check Studio, and I'm excited to talk today about what you should be doing over the next 4 weeks for 2023 to springboard into next year. Nate, you and I break down business all the time. We talk about, what should we be doing? What could we do different? All those aspects. And I think the next 4 weeks is a perfect time to really just work on your business or not work in your business.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so what I want to do, I want to give you 5 tips today. Nate and I talk about this a lot here at E-Carrier Check and what we do. And here's what we're going to be doing over the next 4 weeks in order to make sure that we're jumping into 2023, in order that we're really giving as much value as we can to you. And I really would challenge you to do this in your own business. So Nate, I know we talk about this a lot. Give me a breakdown of reflection. How does it work for you? And walk me through your exercise. How do you reflect? Because I think the big thing is you need to reflect on what worked and what didn't, and make sure that you're cutting out some of those things. So talk me through reflection for you, Nate.
Yeah, I love this because honestly, I do a little bit of reflection every day after work. Get home, get your soda. You kind of sit back and think about how the day went. And now, since the end of the year's coming, it's near. Now it's start to time to take those actions. Well, let's sit down, write down your business strategies. What did you do throughout the year? What didn't work? What worked? So I think, reflection is huge because it's going to just show you a little about yourself and what you did. Maybe there's something I could do differently.
Yeah.
So reflection is very huge.
Yeah. I wouldn't be the person if I wasn't today, if I didn't take that 20 minutes, like Nate said, at the end of every day. I loved that, by the way. It was such a good nugget. To just go, did I win or not today?
Yeah.
What worked and what didn't. And you can make a list real quick. I live and die by my lists. And I know for a fact that if I don't take a moment to reflect, our time goes so quick. Have you ever got to Friday and you're like, where did the week go?
Mm-hmm.
What did I get accomplished?
Yep.
What did I do?
Yep, and you can't get that time back, so that's why that reflection's there. Okay, what am I going to do differently?
Absolutely. I think the other thing that's really important is that what are you going to stop doing in the next 4 weeks so that you can add something that you're going to continue to grow into 2023, right? Yeah. We're going to talk about goals. We're going to do a few more things here, but at the end of the day, you have to develop processes, systems in order to continue to be successful, or your willpower, your bull strength, if you will, is not going to help you to grow. One of my favorite books is Atomic Habits. I really recommend you guys going out and getting this book, listen to it, read it, whatever works for you. But he says in that book, you'll never rise to your goals. You'll always fall to your systems. Boom. You know what I mean? Like you've got to have good systems, and that takes time to reflect, right? You got to go back and say, well, how could I have done that differently? You know what I mean? Yeah. We're all in a choose your own adventure book here. Right. And if we can take time to, work through that, right? I think it's important.
And I think it's important to make mistakes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's kind of weird to say, but you have to make some mistakes in order to grow. We talk with a lot of new freight brokers, dispatchers, carriers that get into this business and they're not sure where to go. Well, let's just make some mistakes and let's learn.
Honestly.
Then let's reflect.
Yeah. And honestly, if you can fail fast, right? Yeah. We talk about, the second thing I want to talk about is identifying what you didn't like in your business, or do you feel trapped in your business?
Yeah.
Right. And I think, like you said, Nate, if you can fail fast, you can grow from it.
Yeah.
Right. A few things about our business. Let's just talk about E-Carrier Check for a minute, just because sometimes if you've been grinding for so long, sometimes to take a step back and really reflect on the business can be tough. It can be tough. Yeah. So it's important that you look at your processes, you look at things that you don't like, and that could be a lot of things. Maybe you're evaluating your business and you say, I'm too stuck with one client. I have to have more clients.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you can identify that problem, we can reverse our way into how do I fix that? So if that's your problem, right? If I'm only with one guy right now, with one broker right now, or with one shipper right now, and you need more relationships in your life. Well, how do we get more relationships?
Start reaching out.
Exactly.
Pick up the phone.
You start to reverse
Yeah.
engineer. Here's my problem. Now I need to build a process, a system to be able to identify how am I going to change that problem.
Right. Which doesn't happen overnight either.
No.
But you start making that habit.
God.
Being consistent.
Boom. I love that, Nate. You got to have patience.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You have to have patience. I'm excited to say on the shoot of this video today, it's actually our birthday.
Mm.
And we're 2 years old, and it's taken me a lot of patience.
Yeah.
Right. And so I get so excited about that, but I have to have patience. I'm like a bull in a china shop. Nate will tell you that.
Yeah.
But identifying those things, and then here's where we crack down. And I think, Nate, we talk about your calendar. We talk about you being intentional with your time. If you look at my calendar, Nate, what does that tell you? Yeah, and you have access to my calendar. You see my calendar. What do we need to get accomplished here?
You're being intentional with your time. A lot of people don't like to be micromanaged.
Yeah.
I think if you micromanage yourself, like you have done on your calendar, what I need to get done, what hasn't been done, I think you'll get better with being intentional with the system that you're building for your business.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any way of looking at what you're focusing on at the end of a week, you're reflecting on what it is that you're focusing on. If you can block time for elements that you want to change or grow, and let me give you an example of this. At eCarrier Check, we really wanted to find more people in a certain sector. So for instance, we work with a lot of brokers, dispatchers. We also want to work with a lot more carriers, right? How can we help them find shippers that they didn't know about, right? Obviously, our platform is a sourcing platform. We help people grow their businesses. This is what we do.
Yeah.
But if they're not being intentional with their time and blocking their time, boy, I tell you what, your day can just run. It can do. My brother is the worst at run-on sentences, by the way, and I judge him for that. Yeah. But you gotta be intentional with your time. You can't just let your day run.
So this is kind of nice because I was on a demo last night, which we do 3 demos a week. So go to ecarrierchecks.com and schedule one. But I was talking with this guy on the demo, and he's a carrier, and he wants to find more direct shippers. And one of his opportunities that he had yesterday was, to get this really high paying load, but he missed out because he lost track of time. And now he wants to start calling shippers, and he's like, I got to start being, more intentional with my time, pretty much, space out time to be calling these shippers, right? And then obviously, leave a day for carrying. You still work. You got to put, food on the table, but also try to figure out some time when to make those calls.
Yeah. Isn't that's probably, this is a good lead into the next topic here or the next point is, if you can be intentional with your time, what is the number one thing that we can do every day to change our business, to change the way our world works, to change? I mean, honestly, this is what you need as a human. What is that thing, Nate? We have to have what? We have to have relationships, right? We have to.
And be patient while you're building that.
Yes.
Too.
So intentionally take an hour of your day. If you spend an hour of your day for the next 20 working days, okay? There's 20 to 23 working days in the month, depending on the month, right? And you spend 1 hour a day calling somebody, writing somebody, emailing somebody, texting somebody. You know what I did the other day? This is kind of probably one of the most interesting things. I actually went through my contact list and I started to send people emails or texts that I haven't talked to for a while. And it was just a quick hello. It was, hey, I miss our chats, and people get so busy and so wrapped up in their lives. Yeah. But I can promise you, if you spend an hour every day working on relationships, oh my gosh, it'll change your life. It'll change your business. It'll change the way you communicate, because we're all one relationship away from, Nate getting married, me getting married, whatever it may be. Right. So I can't express that enough. Take 1 hour a day to really just focus on relationships. And that relationship could be a new brokers, that could be new shippers, right? It could be, gosh, just, it could be anything. It could be just building new friends. As you get older, how many new friends do you make?
That's a good point. I honestly, in my opinion, I've made quite a few because I've gone to the point where, all it takes is one person to say something.
Yeah.
If no one says anything, nothing's going to get anywhere.
Right.
So if you want to make that impression or try to get yourself out there, building those relationships, it goes both ways, but I think you can be that person to pick up that phone or send that text.
Yeah.
So
take the lead step.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think a lot of people think that you're bothering people, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't think that's the case. I think that if you just say hi and smile, mm-hmm. It just makes a difference. Sometimes people just want to talk.
Exactly.
Right? The older you get, the harder relationships get, and you have to put yourself out there. And you're going to flop. You're going to fail. There's going to be people that don't want to risk building a new relationship, that don't want that. But I can tell you, it's worth your time to spend 1 hour a day. And the last step I got to say is just, you've got to, obviously we've broke down, reflection. We've talked about, getting more intentional with your time, talking about, what is working, what's not, what are you going to cut out? We talked about all that. We talked about, the spending an hour on relationships a day. The last thing is really what set probably me apart, you apart, is that we're not afraid to get dirty.
Yeah.
We're not afraid to take massive action. We're not afraid to go out and say, okay, I'm going to grind for the next 8 weeks, and here's how I'm going to do it. Right. With you, Nate, you obviously take massive action every week. I see all these emails and I see these texts. I see a lot of what you're doing. You're just in the trenches grinding, growing our business. What does that do when you start to get into the trenches and start to do that? Are you seeing immediate results when you take massive action? Or is it something that, it grinds or builds over time?
It builds over time. You have to be patient in this industry, and, you have to take those steps, like taking those actions of what's going to get you to your goal. And part of it is being patient. Another part of it is taking action.
Mm-hmm.
So once you take that action, we got to be patient and just wait for the flower to grow pretty much.
Yeah. Have you watched The Founder, the McDonald's story?
Oh yeah.
Ray Kroc?
Yeah.
At the very end of that movie, he says, how does a 54-year-old, grow one of the largest fast food, chains in the world?
Mm-hmm.
Persistence.
Yeah.
Right. Persistence is going to outweigh talent all day. If you want it more, if you're hungry, persistence is going to grow your business.
And that's perfect for this industry too.
Yes.
If you're hungry enough, are you going to quit after that first hour because the shipper didn't want to talk to you, or the carriers aren't want to work with you? You keep calling, and what's come out with the new motive?
Yeah.
Maybe we call different times, or we call in a different region, but you just don't give up.
No, you can't. So take some time. Take time next week to build a list and write down everything that you don't like. Write down what you feel that you can't get accomplished, and start to reverse your way into, how do I make a system to be successful?
Right.
I think that's everything. Nate, I don't have any other thoughts or closing thoughts on the next 4 weeks. We have some other things that are coming with this, but any other things that they can be doing for 4 weeks?
Yeah, honestly, if you're struggling with this and you're not sure how to get going, just give us a call, shoot us an email. Let us know what you're struggling with, because you're not the only one struggling. Maybe we're going through the same struggle. So don't be afraid to reach out to, people to ask for, advice and kind of help. Like I said, we're here to help you grow. So.
Yeah. I honestly, and I know this wasn't on our list, but, finding a mentor is so important this time of year. Identify a few people that you seem that you'd like to find some success with, that really they're changing their life, and that you can, bounce ideas, bounce thoughts.
And that saying, they say, you surround yourself around people you want to be like, or or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's important to surround yourself with people that want to grow, are positive, and willing to help.
Yeah. You become the average of the 5 people that you're around, right?
And we are very lucky enough to have these partnerships.
Oh yeah.
With a lot of mentors. So if you need one, reach out to us. We'll get you hooked up with one.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys and gals, thank you for watching today. We appreciate it. We want to help grow your business, and we're excited to see what you guys can accomplish in 2023 by following these steps. So have a great day. We'll talk later, guys.